Syria was treated as an equal in its relationship with Iran based on the exchange of interests at the time of al-Assad. However, it is transformed to complete subordination to the supreme leader under Bashar al-Assad. How did Iran take control of Syria and make it look like one of its provinces? Since the start of the Iranian Revolution, Iran established military and economic partnerships with Syria within the sovereign borders imposed by al-Assad at the time. After Hafez's death in 2000 and the transfer of power to his son Bashar, Iran took advantage of the heir's weakness and lack of experience and began to penetrate deeper into the Syrian state. Iran found its opportunity to impose its complete hegemony over Syria during the beginning of the Syrian Revolution in 2011. It encouraged Bashar al-Assad to confront the civil revolution with force and provided him with military officers, communications, and espionage experts in order to implement its plans to put Syrian civilians in direct military conflict with the army. After Assad's forces collapsed in front of the revolutionaries' advances in many areas, Bashar sought help from Iran, which flooded Syrian cities with Iranian, Lebanese, Iraqi, and Afghan Shiite militias. At their peak, the number of Iranian elements inside Syria reached more than 100,000, on which Iran spent more than $100 million annually. Meanwhile, Iran, by force of arms and money, seized real estate from Syrians in Damascus, Qalamun, Aleppo, Homs, Deir ez-Zor, and eastern Aleppo. The Syrian government was also forced to enact unjust laws that displaced Syrians from areas where Iran launched its housing projects, such as the Marota City Project and Basilia in Damascus. These housing projects aimed at settling newly naturalized people of Iranian origin, in addition to the families of its Shiite militia fighters, which Iran imported from Afghanistan, with an ultimate goal of changing the Syrian demographic. To further dominate Syria, Iran took control of most of the housing, oil, agriculture, and trade sectors through unjust and long-term investment agreements with the Syrian government. Iran's military, political, and economic control over Syria, along with its sectarian activity and Shiite missionary campaigns in most Syrian cities, plays into Iran's end goal of creating a Shiite Syria. Since its infiltration to 2022, Iran has established 49 Shiite shrines, 69 seminaries, and 500 Husainiyas, 40 schools, and 5 Iranian universities in most areas of Syria. This was all done under direct Iranian supervision without any authority of the Syrian state. While in 1979, there were only 3 Shiite shrines and 1 academic seminary in Syria, all of which were affiliated to the Syrian Ministry of Endowments. Today, after Iranian domination in Syria in exchange for its support of Bashar al-Assad, more than 13 million Syrians have become internally displaced or refugees, and 90% of Syrians are inside Syria lie below the poverty line. Syria is currently ranked the second most corrupt country in the world and first globally in the list of countries where freedoms are lacking. The Syrian passport has become the 3rd worst passport in the world. Destruction occurred in all the cities of Syria. Damascus transformed the city of Jasmines to the worst place to live in the world and the saddest place in the Arab world.